Hello, everyone. My name is Doretta Thomas, and I'm here to kind of share with you my journey that I went through in 2018. Again, Doretta Thomas, I wrote a book called Dying is Not an Option, and I want to share why I wrote that and how it kind of was birthed. Again, January 2018, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And when the doctor told me, I thought, oh, okay, it's stage one, easy peasy, I'll get through this. Told my children, told their dad, hey, we got this, everything's gonna be just fine. I didn't know that I was triple negative and I was also BRCA2. And I'm gonna share with you those things a little bit later and what that meant. So I wanna share at the beginning, no two cancers are alike. I don't care if 10 women have breast cancer, there may be some differences that I share that you don't have, you have that I may not share. So I do want to throw that out. I have a lot of people say, well, what should I do? What path should I take? I can't say that. Everyone has their own journey. My number one thing that got me through is I had an awesome cancer nurse navigator. She was there from the very beginning. She helped me. She just what her title is, she navigated me through all the ins and outs of just kind of what was going to be happening. Because again, I'm thinking stage one, my mother-in-law passed away in 2001 and she had cancer, but I remember the first time she got it, it was stage 4 breast cancer. And they told us in the event of it coming back, it's going to come back and it'll come back with a vengeance and it'll come back aggressively. So I'm thinking stage 1, I'm okay. I know stage 3 and stage 4 is kind of, serious, but I'm thinking stage 1, I've got this. I just go in, do my little surgery. So that day I was diagnosed with cancer. Then the next day, less than 24 hours, my children's father died. So in less than 24 hours, my kids have found out, and I have 5 grown sons, that their mom has cancer and their dad has died. And so we were in just a whirlwind of emotions, just all over. Again, my connection with with the higher being, with God, is the only thing that got me through. Had I not had my faith in him, I wouldn't be sitting here. I never would have been able to write a book. I'd have been in the cuckoo house. Okay, let's just throw that out right there. So day 2, like I said, I'm just diagnosed with cancer. Their dad has passed away. So one thing I do want to share with people is that when we're dealing with things of such magnitude, you want to be careful who you tell your story to. You want to be able to have people in your life who are positive, people who are going to lift you up and not bring you down and not, you know, produce a death sentence on you. So I was very, very careful at the beginning who I shared my diagnosis with, and especially since the day after my children's father passing. So only a few people knew what I personally was going through. And I did that on purpose because, again, you have to protect your peace. And in my book, I talk about how important protecting your peace is. When we have cancer and any other, catastrophic illness, the number one thing the doctor says is, oh, don't stress, don't stress, no stress, keep as much stress away from you as you can. Well, I had the ultimate in stress. There was no way I could sit and just not stress, again, because of everything that had happened. My kid's father, we divorced many years ago, but we were still the best of friends. We talked on the phone, sometimes 2, 3 times a day. We would take our kids and our grandkids different places. So we were very, very active in each other's lives. We shared everything with each other. He was truly my best friend here on earth. So it was still like losing a husband, even though we were not married. So my part that I had to come to grips with was the grief. The cancer, I knew I was going to be okay. I had that in my psyche that no, dying is not an option. So I'll tell you how that came to be. Again, the nurse navigator, angel here on earth. She said, Doretta, we're getting ready to discuss your case. It's about 30 doctors. They sit at a round table and they look at all your charts and all your blood work and everything, and then they come up with a plan. I need you here. I want you here in 15 minutes. So I shot across from one side of the town to the other to get there. Got there right when they were probably in the middle of discussing my case. I'm listening to each one of the doctors, share with how they would handle this, how they would do this. At the end, they turn over and they say, Miss Thomas, do you have any questions? I said, nope, I don't have any questions, but I do have a statement. Look, dying is not an option. My kids just lost their dad. They just found out their mom has cancer, but I cannot die. So whatever you all have to do, whatever you have to discuss, whatever you have to come up with, your plan, that's what we need to do because I cannot die. And so I don't know how many patients come to the round table like that with all this experience in front of them and say something like that. So they were pretty, to say, taken back. They were like, oh, okay. So basically, that's how I started my journey. I started my journey with one thing in mind, that dying was not an option. And I meant that wholeheartedly. So what I did was I continued to read inspiring quotes and my Bible and whatever you need to do, if that's yoga, if meditation, you need to keep yourself as much as possible in a place of positivity. And again, that means having people in your lives that are positive and shun away from. It's okay. This is your time. This is your time to heal your journey. And it's okay if you have some people, because sometimes we have folks in our family that are not too positive and pretty negative. And it's okay for you to step back and say, no, not now. Because the number one concern right now should be you and you getting well. So that was very important to me. So I knew I had to do that. So as I'm going through my journey and my children is walking with me with this, you figure, and this is something that we don't think about. Not only are you going through what you're going through, and if you have children and grandchildren, each one of your children, and if you have a spouse, your spouse, everybody handles these situations differently. So I have 5 sons, and even though they're grown, they're still my babies. And so each one dealt with it differently. And they were also dealing with the grief differently from the loss of their dad. So I had to be there for each one in a different way. And that's another thing that we don't think about is I tell people that when I'm going through cancer, my family is going through cancer. If I just lost a significant other or a child or what have you, the family, that immediate family is going through that as well. We're all suffering together. And everybody deals with grief, catastrophic illnesses differently. I have, again, sons that one just kind of goes into a shell. I have one that may go out and go party too much. I have one that just totally shuts down, closes the door, and hates the whole world. I mean, I had it on all different, the whole type of gamut. It was just there. So again, I had to be there for each one in the way that they needed me to be, but then also, again, taking care of mom with the cancer. So with that, I had to make sure that Doretta was whole. I will share with you, when you are going through something like cancer, again, I'm a big proponent of, I'm plant-based. I've been plant-based for about 7 years now. So, but I'm a big opponent of just taking care of yourself internally as well. So that's the time when I would suggest cutting back. If you drink alcohol, cutting back on your alcohol. If you smoke, try to stop smoking. Put as much as you can in your body that is healthy for you. My oncologist told me, he said, Doretta, you're not going to have as many issues as I see some of my patients go through because you're already so healthy prior to that. So see, I already had an advantage. So if you're not eating properly, and that's not, you got to eat right 100% of the time, because I don't. I eat cookies and ice cream and all that stuff. But I I um I do make a point to eat plant-based, and I'm very careful what goes in my body. Very, very careful of what goes in. And I think that's one thing we don't talk about. We always talk about the solution, how to get rid of, cancer, or how to get rid of the flu or what have you. But a lot of times it's the preventative stuff that we can do that may help us as well. So the better we treat our bodies, when we get something like a cancer diagnosis, it helps tremendously. And I really believe that helped me quite a bit. I did go through 4 rounds of chemo. I went through 4 only because I had the triple negative and the BRCA2. You can imagine, I was happy to hear that I only had to go through 4, but because of the triple negative, my body would only do what it was going to do. So the oncologist said, there's no need to put all that nasty chemicals in your system. It's either going to work or it's not. So we just did 4. So just want you to know how I, when I say being positive and having positive people in your life helps, that's not an understatement. There's nothing else I can say more prominent that is vital for you to keep positive attitude and positive things around you, and people around you, to come out of whatever it is you're coming out of. And let me share this with you too. My book, Dying is Not an Option, you can purchase that at www. The whole sentence, dying is not an option.net. It'll take you right to the book, and you can purchase the book. There's a place where you can, write something if you like. I'd love to hear from you. I have people who will write little things like, hey, I'm going through that as well. Hey, my sister, I'm helping my sister. And again, just if it's not you, and if it's a loved one that you're going through this journey with, just know that they need time to process everything that they're going through. You need to be there for them. Just love on them. I can also be reached. My email is Doretta@ladiesleavinglegacies.com. I can be reached that way. My website is, again, ladiesleavinglegacies.com. I got so many different platforms here, but the website is ladiesleavinglegacies.com. Okay, so I'd love to hear from you. Again, reach out to me. All I can say is that protect your peace. Try to eat as healthy as you can. Have positive people in your life. Just take care of yourself. If you're able to exercise, walking, just doing a routine, having a routine. But the better that you take care of you, the better your outcome can be. And when it comes to grief, don't let anyone tell you when you should be finished grieving. Okay? That no one has that right to tell you that. When you finish grieving, you will know. But don't let people say, "Oh, he wouldn't want you to be grieving. Oh, she wouldn't." Mm-mm. You continue your grief the way you need to. Okay. I will say what helped me was the Grief Recovery Institute. You can buy the book, Grief Recovery Institute. Awesome book. If you can go, they have free sessions all around the world, all around the world. This is just that good. And if you can't go, it's an 8-week class, but it's so worth it. It really helped me. Okay, I love you guys. Please let's stay in touch and have a great day. And remember, dying is not an option. Bye bye.